Back to all, as most of you know, Windows 11 has actually just come out, so let's go and do a quick little walkthrough of this particular software. Now, if you have ever used Windows 10 or Windows 7 or Windows 8, then this is the same thing. Clearly a lot more similarities than Windows 10. So you should have a good understanding by the end of this video. This is probably going to be quite lengthy, but hopefully you should have a good understanding of this specific software. Now, hardware-wise, you can be running it on a laptop, a real PC, whatever it is. This should be the right experience. I'm running it on a very cheap laptop, so if this thing can run, then you can get a good sense of how your laptop will also run. So this is the lock screen. Every single laptop or any Windows 11 PC should have some accessories. Your date and time will be here. I think there's a little fact here that's good. You know, if you're into it, you have a little more information here. This may look a little different depending on your specific computer, but usually you just have to go ahead and click down and you'll be signed in. If you have a user setup, you just have to sign in your password and input into everything below, although there are some quick toggles. So if you want to shut down your PC quickly, you can go and click here and either go to sleep or restart your PC. And this small option may be slightly different per PC, so here's just something extra. You know, the perimeter, if you want to go ahead and modify these, you can. And here is your Wi-Fi toggle. You can connect to other Wi-Fi and all these things. So let's go and click sign in and we will come straight to our Windows 11 PC. Now in this case, let's just do something super basic. I'm going to go ahead and cover the layout. The ground is very high. Usually this is a new PC, so you should have here a recycle bin, Microsoft Edge browser, and many other applications. If you are already accustomed to your Windows 11 PC, so everything here should look pretty similar, that things are usually universal. You know, create new folders. So if you ever want to right click on your laptop, you can either tap with 2 fingers on your specific computer, or you can also right click on your computer with that actual button if your computer supports it. So when you do that, you can always get more information on your specific page. So even if you double click on an application, you can modify many different things. If you are new to Windows 11, and normally double tapping on your trackpad like this or right clicking the mouse will always give you more information, so you can click on the Y and modify the aspect ratio of your specific thing. You can suit with different things, you can refresh. You can always create a new folder file, Microsoft Access Database, Excel worksheet, so many different things you can do. So just understanding this little option is also quite good in my opinion. So you can also modify your display settings, but look, I just double tapped here, right? The more you double tap an app, the more you know. It provides specific information. So get used to double tapping different things like this. Normally that happens, and then you have your wallpaper, which you can also modify later, which we will go ahead and modify later in the settings. And that's just the thing. It will always be the same. This is essentially your home screen. Now below we have our, dock, our tab bar below. Now the thing is with Windows 11 specifically, they changed and modified this tab bar. Does it end here or at the beginning? And with other things, now all this is focused, and I think, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But it's a very easy way to get through. So on the right side, we also have many other things, but first we will start from the middle. So here, this Windows icon is always going to be there. These icons we can change and modify, but these specific icons, if we mentioned earlier, if we right click on it, I do not think there is any way to delete it, and it has to be there always. And if you right click on something like Microsoft Edge here, we have the ability to unpin from Taskbar. So we can click on unpin from Taskbar and proceed from there. And if you ever want to open an application, you go and click there. So these are all the applications that can be modified and removed from Taskbar, except this. This farm can live almost only there. I think we can move it around. We cannot take it around anymore, so this is always going to remain static. So if we go and click on this, you will see many different things which you can go ahead and modify. It's universal to every single Windows 11 and honestly from every single Windows PC. So if you go and look up, we have a type here to find. So this is going to happen if you are very new to Windows, and this is going to be your saving grace. If you ever have any question or you are wondering, hey, this file said or this thing said on my computer, or how do I do this? For example, if I type change, desktop wallpaper or anything, you can already see that I'm already looking at a bunch of things. So if we don't cover it in this tutorial, or if you need to fix a certain thing, so you can go ahead and click here and you can go ahead and search. Actually there are ways to go around it. So if I go and click, change wallpaper, sometimes you will come up with things, sometimes you will not. As you can see, it doesn't really work well at first. If you scroll down, you can see that you choose your desktop background. So it does a great job, and I would advise you to get comfortable with it, because again, we can't cover every single little thing in these tutorials, but you can discover any little thing and go a lot further from there. Now here we have our pinned application, so these are very good. I I'm not going to go through every little one of these, but what is great about it is that you can go ahead and from the pin application, your specific, application that you have, and can go a lot further from there. So here is a ton of them. If you want to move these around, you can hold it like this and move it somewhere else. If you want to listen, you can move it there. If you want to see all the applications that you have, you can click here and see a big list of all the applications that are present on your computer. So if we go and click on the back button, you will see that you can go ahead and delete these here as well. You can click unpin from the beginning, but you can also click on all the apps and you can pin these apps to start by right-clicking here and clicking on pin to start. But at the same time, if you want to uninstall some of these applications, then there is an uninstall button. So let's say you don't like Amazon. Well, you can just click on uninstall, or we can click on uninstall, and it will go ahead and uninstall it. Now, some applications I don't think can be uninstalled, but there are a lot of them again. So I would advise those who don't like to go through uninstalling and don't get super crazy to uninstall every single little app. Things like Excel, things like File Explorer, all these things you want to keep a lot more. Most of the parts. So let's click back, and if you remember earlier, we removed our actual, Edge's browser from our specific tab bar below. Let's say we want to bring it back. So if you really want to go ahead and bring it into our TaskWise and pin it, you just have to right click on such specific application and click on pin in TaskWise that is there. So at this point, you will see that the application will now, be placed right there. And as we mentioned earlier, you can go ahead and move it around and we can put it back to almost the same place that it was before. It's very easy to do that, nothing crazy. And it covers these applications quite a bit. The settings right here now, it will go down here and show you any of the recommended apps. Things like that are certainly nothing crazy, but if you see anything here, you can see it, but this is nothing crazy. Here is where you can go ahead and switch between the users of your computer. So if you have many different users, things like if you and your spouse share a computer, you and your children share a computer, you can go and click here and click on change account settings, and you can go ahead and add users, remove users, and kind of tick with different things here. Now I'm the administrator here and don't feel like super crazy, or this is a new area here. This is just the settings panel. We'll cover the settings in a second, but that's where you can go ahead and modify your specific computer and all those different things specifically for your account. So you're thinking, how am I going to get home? I open this application. Well, it's very simple. Share the U and you will see 3 different buttons. So you will see an exit button. If you ever want to quit an application, then you go ahead and click here and it will close the application completely. If you want to make this specific application smaller, then you can go ahead and click here and you can reduce the application. You want to make it big, you can click back here, but you can also double tap on the top of your specific app type, to quickly toggle from a large size to a small size. But on top of that, within Windows 11, we now have the ability to hover over it and choose the different ways we want to move forward and, actually position it. So before we had to go ahead and drag our window like this or make it smaller like this, and then we had to manually go like this and make it bigger like this. You can hold both and make it bigger or smaller and float to the side, but now we can just hover here and we can basically pin it to the side easily. So I recommend you get used to it if you want to move your application from one side to the other, and this is wonderful, and the reason is that you can quickly go from one side to the other, and there are actually 2 applications. So in this case, let us go ahead and open our File Explorer like this, and you will see that these are covered like this. If we hover over this, we can make it so that we can click here, and the 2 applications are quite together within each other without us, have to go and manually shape them and everything. And you can actually hold one part from the center to make it bigger than the other application, and you can do the same thing with the other side. This is a new feature in Windows 11. In the past, there were, applications that allowed us to do this, but now we have it basically within Windows, which is very beautiful. So as we said earlier, we can pull out an application like this and we can go ahead and double the tab bar at the top. Now let's say you want to go ahead and minimize this application. You don't want it to be on your face all the time, you just want to get it out of the way and you want to open it later. Well, this minimization button is right for that. It will just go away, so you don't really need to keep it right on your face all the time. But it's a very easy process to maneuver through your applications a lot. Now with the tab bar, you will still see the same app that we have, but you will see that there is actually a little bit in an app. There is a bar underneath it, so you can open it and come back to the same place. If we exit the application, then you can see that the application not only comes away from our screen, but it has been removed from our tab bar at the bottom. And this is because this application is no longer open, it no longer exists, and it is closed, so you can move on. and you can come back here. You can click on your settings here or click on all apps and then go ahead and look through your specific settings app in this way. So this is a very good success of the down tab bar. These are most of the new things in Windows 11. Of course, there are a lot of small things now. If you look to the right, we will see some different segments. So you know this. The very top arrow is just the hidden control of this specific section. If we go and click on this, you will see some different peripheral devices, Bluetooth devices. Sometimes in some or customary applications, there will also be some things here, Windows Security, one-way your sound option here, and this little Microsoft theme option also. The big thing here is Bluetooth, so whatever you haven't set up will be under hidden control. So this is a big area that should also be familiar with. Now you're going to the side here, and here's where you'll see a bunch of different things. This is a bunch of quick toggles. It's beautiful and amazing, and I think actually Microsoft has improved it a lot from Windows 10. There's still a lot of work to be done, but it looks really good, so that's fine. This is a quick toggle to quickly turn on and off your Wi-Fi. So you can click here and it will go ahead and turn off your Wi-Fi. Anything that's gray is essentially off. Whatever is blue is essentially turned on. So we can go ahead and turn our Wi-Fi back on by clicking here, and this will go ahead and just turn the Wi-Fi on. You can click here to learn more about your Wi-Fi connection settings. The same is true with Bluetooth. Suppose we don't want to turn on Bluetooth, we can turn it off and whatever is bad is turned off. That's the thing with airplane mode, on battery saver mode, on accessibility, and those things are great amazing toggles for you to get some things on and on quickly. Below here you will see your brightness toggle. So if you ever want to change your brightness up or down, we can go ahead and pull this brightness up or down like this and quickly turn on or off or increase or decrease your brightness, and the same work can also be done with our music and with sound. So you can increase and decrease the sound like this, hold it, and if you want it loud, you go here but you have your sound icon like this. You can also click, you can actually see a little bit more of your specific sound options, which is cool. So we can click once again, you will see your battery percentage here, and you can also modify these specific toggles by clicking here, and you can modify anything you want to add some things. In this case, we will just click on done and we can be out of here. Now, this is the last thing here. This is a little more information of your specific computer. If you click on it, the various notifications that have come up, you can always turn them off by clicking on clear all, and these should mostly clear everything. If you click on it, you will see this little toggle comes up, and you can also go and click here and you can see, date and time, and thus whatever day it is today. And this is very basic work through of this specific thing. Now I also want to show you the Microsoft Store. So to reach there, you will get this little toggle here. But you can also click on the Windows icon here, and we can just, for example, here we can just type in Microsoft Store. So let's just type in Microsoft and type in Store. So you can see, even if we did not know where the application was, we can type here in the Microsoft Store, and this will basically appear here. So we can click here and we can go ahead and find out. Now, I'm not going to spend 30 minutes talking about this, but this is a great resource if you ever want to download apps, if you ever want to get any more information about your specific computer, like which apps can you install. We can go ahead and go through here. So first, let's click there and resize it, and here you can download all the applications you ever wanted that are supported for your computer. The Xbox app is an amazing app that makes me love WhatsApp desktop, so many different things. And I really recommend you go here and look through all these different things that we have available, because the possibilities are, if you have, an app that you want to download, then it can be here. You can still install and download ECA files, but this is a great thing that I always advise people to become familiar with, because, this is where a lot of your apps are stored. So let's go and click on this X button and get out of here. And another thing that I want to show you is inside the File Explorer. So if we go and click here, if you ever want to search any document or any folder which is within your PC, here can potentially be stored. So you can click on Desktop, and here all the folders and files on your desktop will appear here. Your download folders, your documents folders, all kinds of different things, your pictures folders, I know here. I would recommend knowing and getting acquainted with it, because this is one of the most used things that I use on a specific Windows PC, and I would advise you to get acquainted with it as well. This is essentially your file manager. Here are all the files on your computer. This is one of the most important areas of your computer. Can go to the settings application by clicking the exit button, click here and type settings. Can click on settings, the application may close, have to try to reopen, sometimes have to restart the computer. I will click change account settings, system settings not working. In this specific case, I am just going to go and click on change account settings, and these system settings are the main small part here, but you will still see all these things which are still familiar over here. So within the system settings, you will see the full breadth of different things, but let's explore them. So under Bluetooth and devices, you can simply see all your Bluetooth and devices that you have supported. Certainly nothing crazy. You guys are quite familiar with Wi-Fi and the internet. Whatever internet connection you have set up, you can see more information here under personalization. Here is where you may be able to get a little bit more fun, I think, setting up your PC. So here you can go ahead and set your different wallpapers that you want. So if you want to choose a different wallpaper, in this case we will just choose it and now see what happens. The thing changes here, but if we do not minimize it, you will see that the desktop is the familiar Windows 11 PC. Now we can go ahead and just open this application and see that we are back where we were. You can change themes and styles. You can change the lock screen. I will advise you to customize your PC. Under apps, you can see almost all the different apps and you can set different things. Now under accounts, as we mentioned, these are different accounts and everything that you can set up on your computer, and then if for some reason it keeps crashing, which can happen if you use a new Windows 11, then things may not work properly. You just have to find ways to fix it. Sometimes resetting or restarting your PC can fix these problems under time and language if you are in a different time zone or want to change. If you click on the Xbox game bar, you can see small shortcuts within Windows. I really recommend checking the link in the description for screen recording and different methods. I've already created tutorials on them, so this is a basic guide. I'm not going to go super crazy. Under accessibility, you can modify the lock screen and other settings. I do not recommend modifying the privacy and security area. Windows Update is an important area and should be checked regularly. There are a lot of things that still need to be fixed, such as my settings panel not working properly, which will probably be fixed within a month or two from now. So I would recommend checking this Windows Update panel frequently and making sure your PC is updated. If you have installed the first version of Windows 11 and you have been in it for 1 year, then maybe something hard is fine that you are complaining about. So I would recommend going under Windows Update and updating your PC as soon as possible so that you can see if some updates are available. I will click on download and install and this in the background. You can also check your update history to see when you updated to Windows 11 and see all this information. This is one of the main things that I would recommend looking for when you get back to your home screen. This is the main walkthrough of everything that I wanted to hit. You need Windows 11 and Windows RAW. Must have a basic understanding of the course features and then be able to proceed. There is a lot of information that we have not talked about in detail, but this is the technical details that a beginner should know. Must have a good understanding of Windows 11.
Tell me a lot, but the most important thing is to press that subscribe button. I will do to each and every one of you.